This is Andi Purewal for Boxing Social in association with Betfred. We're in Manchester and I'm joined by Tommy McCarthy. Tommy, firstly, how are you?
I'm very well. Just had some breakfast, so feeling good.
Good to hear. Now, it is first thing on a Thursday morning. Obviously, we've got the press conference coming up. You mentioned you just had breakfast. How are you settling into Manchester life ahead of your rematch with Billam-Smith on Saturday night?
Yeah, well, I spent a lot of time in Manchester over the years. I was based here for about 2 years down in Marseille. So this is kind of like a home away from home. So it feels good to be back in Manchester. I love the city, and yeah, I'm looking forward to getting the press conference over and done with, to be honest, because I just want to get there to fighting it.
I was going to say, when you come into fight week, rather than just kind of prep Thursday onwards, what's your mentality? How, I don't want to say frustrating, but how tedious can all of the activities become because you've just spent, say, 3 months preparing for a fight, which, especially with what's on the line for you on Saturday night, is kind of very much so you just want to get in the ring and try and right the wrongs of the last outing?
Tedious is the right word to use. You know, it's not annoying or frustrating, but it does become a bit tedious. It's like yesterday at the open workout, it was like a lane, literally. Do an interview here, take one step to the next side, interview with this person, interview with that person, and you're like, I think it might have been about 6 people. It's like, Jesus Christ, how many times I have to say the same thing? I'm gonna win, please believe me, I'm gonna win. So it does get a bit tedious, and then today the press conference is gonna be more of the same. All right, tell me, how's the campaign? How you feeling? It's like, I fucking told you, I've been telling you all week.
Tommy, on the plus side, at least you've done those interviews yesterday and you're doing me this morning, so I imagine most of the onlines are done, so at least you can look at it in a positive way.
Yeah, you know, at least we get to sit down in these chairs and it. But nah, it's all part of the picnic, isn't it? So this is where you wanna be when you're a professional boxer. You want people to ask you questions and to be, you know, an attraction for the show. So you can't complain.
Tommy, you obviously haven't fought since that first bout. Chris has fought once in between. How much have you reflected or looked back on and analysed your first sharing of a ring together?
To be honest, I haven't really analysed it too much. I've just used the time really to work on myself and, you know, just practice what I need to, you know, to improve, you know, physically and mentally. So it's been a long time, but it's been a useful time. I haven't been, you know, sitting on my hands.
It was an extremely close fight, Tommy, first time round. A lot of people either could have said, from what I saw, a round either way or a draw. No bigger or larger a margin than that. What do you have to do this time around to ensure you're victorious, other than the obvious of getting the knockout? How do you, from what you saw in the first fight, what have you learned about Chris that you feel like you can capitalise on?
Just, you know, I had some great spells of success throughout the fight, so really this time I just need to sustain those spells, and that should secure victory. You know, the last time I was fighting kind of in spurts. This time I need to, you know, stay switched on and just keep it going for the whole 12 rounds, if it goes 12.
Does it need to be as what looked like as grueling as what the first fight was, or do you anticipate maybe, whether it be both of you or just on your side, a little bit more boxing on show so you can conserve a little bit of energy?
Yeah, I see the first fight, it didn't need to be that grueling, but I think I was trying so hard to impose my presence. And Chris was doing the same, obviously. So for a lot of the rounds, the boxing kind of went out the window. It was just, you know, like getting stuck in. So this time, I believe 100% my boxing is superior to Chris's. So I stick to my boxing. It won't need to be as tough as what it was. But, you know, when you get in there and emotions running high, and as you said, there's a lot on the line, you just have to bite down on the gum shield, and it probably will end up just being the same.
Did Chris do anything that surprised you in the first fight? Was he better at anything than what you thought he would be?
No, Chris done everything what I was expecting, and Yeah, nah, there was no surprises really.
You said earlier, and I didn't ask you, but you mentioned if it goes the full distance this time around, do you anticipate that it may well do, or are you more so thinking you're going to look to stop Chris?
No, I'm mentally prepared for a, a tough 12 rounds, but I showed in the last fight that Chris is can be hurt. So there's always this, especially with big guys like us. There's always a chance that I'll touch form at some stage, and if I do, I'm going for the end.
Tommy, when going into this rematch, did you always anticipate that it would happen in this manner? I asked this question to Chris yesterday, and I said, usually if someone's going to rematch, especially on the back of what was such a tight fight, it might be more immediate. Chris has had a fight in the interim, and there's been a bit of a gap between the two fights. Did you anticipate it would work out like that, or did you ever think that maybe you wouldn't share the ring again? What were your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I actually thought it wasn't going to happen. After the fight, I had a really bad eye injury, and it got infected and all sorts. So I was walking around like this for weeks and weeks. So that's the reason why there wasn't an immediate rematch, and obviously Chris had another fight in the meantime. But at the start of this year, I'd seen Chris had a mandatory with Fabio Turkey, and I'd seen an interview saying that that's who he was fighting. So I just thought, that's it. Like I'm out of the picture. So I was just training, hoping to get a call up for something. And because if something had came last minute, I'm like, yep, I'm ready to go. But the way things unfolded, that fight ended up not happening, and I got the phone call for the rematch. So it all worked out the way I wanted it to, but in a roundabout way.
It's all obviously, as you said, worked out for yourself in the end. Come Saturday night, if you're successful, firstly, where from there? Is there a potential, especially if it's as close to what the first fight was, that we see a trilogy?
Yeah, there's always potential. I'm not shutting any doors, and a trilogy would probably be good, 1-1. But let's just see what happens on Saturday night first. I'm not looking past it. I'm fully focused on Saturday night, the task at hand. The main thing is to get the win by a hook or by a crook. I have to win.
So I have to ask as well, I don't have to, but I'm going to ask more of a negative question. If you're unsuccessful on Saturday night, where does Tommy McCarthy go from there?
Listen, this boxing game, as we've seen, losses don't define anyone. You just have to keep knocking at the door. I haven't even considered losing, but seeing they're asking the question, if it didn't go my way, it's just back to the drawing board. It's no big deal.
Something that's just popped into my head. I always see when I go on social media a lot of kind of outlets or companies in boxing posting your top 5 fighters in each weight category, and when it comes to cruiserweight, for some reason your name doesn't seem to get mentioned. I can only imagine that might be on the back of a defeat to Chris last time out. Do you ever pay attention to any of that?
No, because who are these people, making the list? And it's all down to preference as well. So I don't really pay too much attention to social media. Social media for me is all about the memes. The memes is just the only reason why I have it. So
what's your favourite meme?
There's so many. I was going to say one there, but it'd be too controversial. But yeah, people who talk about boxing on Twitter, they're mostly maniacs. So the only people who I pay attention to on boxing Twitter is the trolls. You know what I mean? So, it's all about the troll patrol.
Tommy, last time again that you two shared the ring, during fight week we saw a certain Mr. Carl Frampton turn up and carry the bucket for you. Will he be making an appearance this time around?
No, Carl's been relieved of his duties. Last time, he didn't do a great job. I came back, I was like, where's the stool? He didn't have the stool in. I was like, get us a drink. He couldn't get the water out of the bottle. I says, you know, I can't forget about it. So he's sacked.
Tommy, just before I let you go, just want to get your thoughts on one final thing. Next week, we see a big heavyweight fight between Tyson Fury and Dillian-Whyte. As I've asked everybody this week, just get your thoughts and your take as well. What do you anticipate to see happen? How does the fight unfold?
I think Tyson Fury just is too big and has too much boxing ability. But Dillian-Whyte, he's a big banger, so, you know, heavyweight only takes one shot. So it'll be interesting to watch, but I think Fury just has too much for him.
All right, Tommy, just before I let you go to kind of enjoy the rest of this morning before the madness consumes you at the press conference, just a final word, anything you'd like to say to your fans, your followers, to Chris ahead of Saturday night?
Final word, I just want to thank my sponsors, because without my sponsors, it wouldn't be possible to get here, to go through training. So Peak Physique, Northern Property, Aircore, Mulholland Law, and EJC. You know, without you guys, it wouldn't be possible to box full time. Well, it would be possible, but it would be very, very hard. So thanks for all the support, and yeah, to all of the viewers, thanks for tuning in. And I know Boxing Socials Team McGuigan, but listen, thanks for having me on the channel.
Boxing Social is team boxing. That's it. We're boxing. But Tommy, I appreciate your time as always. Thank you for speaking to me and Boxing Social.
No problem. Thanks for having me.